which makes sense if you're having a general theme going for all of the pages, which I think there will be an external one that'll have the general theme, like you were saying, for all the pages, and then there'll be a specific one for certain pages.
Yeah.
Or specific CSS styling for certain pages. Sometimes
the companies will have an external style sheet for all their website, and then departments may have a web page that applies to the styling for just their particular department. That they could do on the internal level. But let's go ahead. Hello, Mary. How are you? She might be muted. Okay, well, let me jump right in. Okay, so you should be able to see my screen. Can you see my screen okay? Awesome. All right, before we talk about CSS, let me make sure that I make a point on the career integration quiz. And this is a new element to our course. I think you'll find it in all courses now and from now on. And this is a little bit like what used to be here from before, but it's a little more specific questions. So please be sure to spend some time. I grade these. It's 15 points. So that's worth several checkpoints right there. What did you find the most value from the readings? What did you find the most value from the structured lectures? And what did you find the most value from the assignments in this course, and why? So remember, 50 words or more per question. $50 words. All right, so any questions on that? Hi, Christopher. Okay, great. All right, now if you remember on Monday night, we began talking about the cascading style sheets, why they called cascading. And let me bring up that one graphic that I like so much. And I'll show it to you again. It's where it goes like a cascade here. I'll send you the link to that. So cascading style sheet, it gets its name from this cascade. And remember, I used the analogy of federal law, state law, county law, and city law. And it's a good analogy just because federal law applies everywhere unless state law overrides it. And then state law applies everywhere unless county law overrides it. And county law everywhere except, if the city overrides it. So that's why it's a good analogy, I think. Now, tonight we're going to talk about this external style sheet and how to create one. Now, in Dreamweaver, let me bring that up. And also we'll go to W3 Schools. Let's go to W3 Schools, the CSS for that. So with the external style sheet, what is going on here? Here you have just regular CSS. When you click on this, try it yourself there on the tutorial, you can see here's a single HTML page right there. And right up in here is a section. That style right there, that is an HTML tag. And this is an HTML tag. However, what's between there, this is CSS. So let me say that again. we are in an HTML document, and this is right there a tag. That's an HTML tag, but between the open and closed style tag, which is found inside the head tag, you see how it's inside the head tag? This is opened and closed within the tag. This is cascading style sheet instructions. Does anybody remember what we call these, generally speaking? These are called the blank. Anybody remember? If you don't know, just put a question mark. Let me repeat the question. These are called, generally speaking, the blank. I said it a couple times on Wednesday. If you don't know, just put a question mark. Everybody answer, please. Anyone? Anyone? Bonus question here. Nobody? Okay. That is called, these are called selectors. Selectors. Now, the reason why these are called selectors is because they reference in the HTML. So this, again, this is all cascading style sheet, CSS. And this is a selector because what it is saying is the rule that follows me, which is right here. This is the rule that follows the selector before another selector starts. So this rule between the brackets, so it's really specifically just this rule, applies to anything in the body tag. Now, it's referring actually to this body tag here to here. So let me say that again. The body tag, this is a selector to the HTML body tag. This is not HTML, but it's just a selector to the HTML body tag, and it says this rule here will apply to all HTML inside the body tag. So there's the open body tag, there's closed body tag. So this rule here is going to be like a rule in place of affecting everything going on between these body tags. That's how that works. So here, remember, we aren't yet talking about external. We actually are talking about this kind here. So let's jump just for a second because it's actually a little easier for me to go here. Then we'll show you how to make it external. But so CSS in head. So when it says CSS in head, it's saying this is CSS code. It's defined in the style tag, and it is defined inside the head. See that? Okay, does everybody understand what I just did? This is CSS defined. This is called internal CSS. It's internal because it's found in the HTML tag. Is everybody following me? If you're not following me, just put a question mark so I know, and then I'll reword it. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, put a question mark. Everybody answer. Okay. Well, that came from, that's hexadecimal. So that number is actually a 3-byte RGB code. And I did not personally create that. Let me show you how I got here. I went to this page here. Let me give you this link. So go to this link, and there they've already got it here. So yeah, Ryan was saying there's a color picker. If you want to know these colors, in fact, I think right here. See it right here? Click there. If you type in that value, we'll see exactly what the color is. Don't include the pound sign. So we go right here, color picker. Boom. Okay, and there's the color right there. So let me go back, and we click try it yourself. what this is doing is this is just CSS, but when we do an example of an inline CSS, that's this kind right here. Sorry, I said inline, I meant to say internal or in the head. Talk about this one here. So it says, click here to try it for yourself. So they took that style sheet and they embedded it right here inside the style tag, which is inside the head tag. Okay, let me pause for just a second. And Scotty, what I'd like you to do is, or Mary, can you type in a question? Scotty or Mary, and what I want you to do is type a question, or you can unmute yourself. What my goal is to bring you along with us in this conversation so that you're not lost. So, Scotty, can you formulate a question? Mary, can you formulate a question about what we've talked about so far? Let's start with you, Scotty. Can you unmute yourself?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So what I want you to do, Scotty, is take everything I've just shared with you and just ask me one question. With everything I've shared with you, what's the first question that would come to your mind? By the way, am I sharing my screen? Yeah, I'm sharing my screen. Everything's...
Yeah, I can see your screen just fine.
Okay, good.
I don't know, I'm lost, I guess.
All right, well, here's what we got to do. What we need to do is find you. Have you ever seen the movie Matrix?
Which one?
Number one.
Yeah, I didn't really care for it.
Oh, well, there's a scene in there where I can't remember the name of the guy. It's the guy who gives him the red or blue pill, and he chooses the whichever pill it is. I guess it's the blue. And the very next step is they take what is his name? Nemo? No, it's not. I can't remember his name. Anyways, they take him on this kind of like an internal journey where they kind of got to locate where he is relative to his own reality. Now, that's what we need to do with you. Okay? So let me do that. I'm going to do that really quick. What I need to do is help you locate yourself and help me locate you where you are understanding what we're talking about, okay? So I'm going to ask you some really general questions just to kind of get a quick feel of where you are, okay?
Okay.
So what is this we're looking at? When I select all this, how would you describe what is this that we're looking at? This is
Coding.
Coding, and what kind of coding would you call it?
Computer coding, I guess, HTML.
Yeah, the answer is, you got it, HTML coding. Okay, good. Now, what are tags?
Tags are the things that you put in there to kind of help show the image.
Good, or right, whatever it might be. Okay.
Put stuff in place, I guess.
Okay, good.
What order you put them in, and if they're spelt wrong or if you miss a little character, it basically doesn't work.
Right. So what's the difference between this tag and this tag? Do you know?
The top tag is the opening tag,
Good.
and the slash in it is the closing tag.
Good. Very good. Okay. Now here the open HTML, and then the head tag opens, and the head tag closes, and then the body tag opens, and the body tag closes. Do you know what's the difference about what information you see up in this area in general versus the information you see down in here? Do you have any idea?
Basically, what's in the head title or in the heading section is what's going to show up as the header of your page. And what's in the body is actually going to show up as like your paragraphs and whatever else you put in there.
Great. You're right. The head section is just anything that's not displayable in this area, the content area. The content area is governed by what's described here. So anything that's up in this area is not going to get displayed. But this, what's in between the body tags, yep, that's going to be rendered here. Very good. Okay, so one of the things that we can you give me what other tag is defined inside the head tag?
I have no clue unless you do style or something.
Okay, just give me an answer and then give me a scale of 1 to 10 how sure you are. Let me ask you again. Give me one tag that's defined inside the head tag. And you actually already gave me the answer, and you're just not confident enough. What was the answer you just said?
Style tag?
Right. On a scale of 1 to 10, how sure are you?
I don't know.
Give me a number.
Go with 7.
Okay. Guess what? You should have gone 10. All right. So here's what's going on. You got it, but you're not giving yourself enough credit because you gave me the answer. That's correct. The style is being defined inside the head tag. See, it's defined open and closed. So you knew the answer, but you just didn't feel confident enough. Okay, so here's what you got to do. You got to bump up your confidence by 3 points because you're right. There's the style tag. Okay, so next question. Inside the style tag, what is being defined?
The body part of what's like the background or the alignments and stuff like that, like color and what type of text is going to be used.
Very good. You're getting yeah. And I was looking for a general answer, and so what I want to do is defer to give what's that game called? Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? And you have like a what's it called? Like a line. You have like a group you can call. What is that? I can't remember. Anyways, Lifeline. Thank you. Oh, Neo, Christopher. Thank you. I just saw your text. Okay. Scotty's going to use his Lifeline. So somebody help Scotty out here on, generally speaking, what are we seeing being defined between the style, inside the style tag? And anyone can answer. Go ahead and type in your answer. Scotty, watch the text. This is your Lifeline coming in.
The specifics of each section of area. So you're basically defining what you want for colors, font size, and characters within each one of those different tags.
Okay. Now, that answer is true. There is an answer that is more in line with what I'm trying to get to, and that is, generally speaking, what is defined inside the style tag. Generally speaking, not you're kind of giving specifics of what can be accomplished, but what do we find inside the style tag? Anyone? Okay, Will just said CSS. What does CSS stand for, Will? Or Scotty?
Cascading style sheets.
That's right. Okay, so the CSS is kind of like the nickname for the instructions. So Scotty, what's being defined in here is CSS.
Okay.
So this is not HTML, because HTML uses tags and stuff. This is actually CSS that's being allowed to sit inside an HTML page here, or web page, but it's being delimited by style tags. So CSS, and Ryan said heading 1. Heading 1 is that's an example of a CSS selector. Okay, so with CSS, okay, Scotty, with CSS, generally you define what? What is your purpose with CSS? Can you say?
Cosmetics of it.
Yes, that's it. That's exactly right. That's right. That's the purpose of it. And again, the goal is they want to be able to pull this apart because frankly, they actually want to be able to take this CSS and put it into its own file rather than embedding it in every single file. It would be easier to manage if we took this and we put it in its own file, and then we can just tweak the file, include the file in our thing. So for right now, you're right. That's cosmetic. The HTML is the content. Okay, good. So you're seeing the difference between the cosmetics that are accomplished by CSS instructions, such as background color, text align, font family, font size, and versus the content. Okay, you're good. All right, I'm going to let you mute yourself. Now I want to have Mary. Is that okay?
Yep.
All right. Thank you very much, Scotty.
Okay, I'm going to have to go on my tablet because I found out that this is the second time that I'm losing my charge in your lecture. So they're thinking it's the laptop or the charger. So I'm going to have to come back in. I'm going to have to get out of the laptop and come in on my tablet.
Okay, 1 second, Mary. Is your adapter plugged in right now? Do you have your adapter plugged in?
No,
Okay, help me understand. Why don't you just plug in your adapter right now?
because when I do, it doesn't take a charge. In fact, the color changes from green to orange. I just talked to IT earlier. They told me to call them in the morning to see whether or not they need to send me another charger or adapter or whatever, or if I need to send the whole stuff back because this is my second laptop.
All right, I want to try something. Okay, what I want you to do is go ahead and plug it in right now. Can you do that? All right, while you're doing that, I'll keep talking and we'll come back. But go ahead and plug it in, and then I'll come back to you in just a few minutes, okay?
Okay, it's in and it's changed from green to orange, the light.
All right, now I just want you to leave it alone. Upper right across, see up in here, do you have a percentage?
32%, and when I take it off of you, it's 85% or 90% when I get out of the lecture.
Okay.
But while I'm in the lecture, it goes down.
Okay, hold on now. You are looking at my screen here, and so my 32% is my percentage on my computer. And
I understand that, but what I'm trying to tell you is, I know what you're saying, but this laptop will start getting hot and then it'll cut off. That's why I had to leave out Monday, was because it literally went out of charge, even though.
Okay, tell me this. Right now, what percentage is your battery right now?
My battery is actually saying I have 58%.
Okay, and right.
But I started off with 98% when I first logged in for the lecture.
Okay, sounds good. So it says 58% right now, correct?
Yeah.
And right next to it is a battery. Is there a little lightning bolt inside the battery?
No, because they said it does not charge when I'm online for a lecture. That's what IT told me earlier today.
By the way, just so you know, I don't believe that at all.
Well, I don't know about, that type of fundamental, but I was just going to go on my tablet so I could see the rest of the
Sure, I got that. One more second. So what I hear you say is you're currently plugged in, the adapter's plugged into your laptop right now. It says 58% and it does not have a little lightning bolt, correct?
Right. The color has changed on the little thing where normally it would be green. It has changed to orange. And I know Monday and the week before we went on vacation, that happened, and I just let it ride out, and it totally cut off on me. The laptop totally cut off on me while I was in your lecture.
Okay, I understand. By the way, mine goes between orange and green too. So let me see.
So I lost you, and I had to charge it back up. I couldn't come back in.
All right, let me see. I'm going to plug mine in. Okay, right now my adapter shows a green. Now it's orange. Okay, so
And I see the light, the little lightning bolt on yours. I see that.
okay, and so yours is a color orange, but it doesn't have the lightning bolt.
No.
Okay, interesting.
So they were thinking it might be this charger thing, might be need to be replaced, or the battery itself. I'm thinking it's the adapter myself.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. Normally, if it's plugged in, its color is orange, it should show that the battery's charging up. But okay, now it's at 58 right now.
Yeah.
All right, well
But
let's
yeah.
keep talking. Let's not worry, because if you're at 58%, you got a lot of battery still. So let's just keep talking, okay?
Okay.
All right, now here's a question for you. What is the time? Can you see on my screen? Unmute yourself. I can hear you. Say something.
Hello?
Hi. Is that you? Mary.
Yes.
Okay. I want to work with you really quickly here, okay?
Okay.
All right. So can you see my screen?
Yes.
All right. And so tell me this, what is defined inside the style tag, generally speaking?
What's inside? Well, I would say inside of the um style tag is your body, your color, the alignment, text, the font, or all of that that you may need and everything.
And generally
Um,
speaking, this is called the, do you know? This is called, in this area, inside the style tag. Do you know? Just say, I don't know. It's fine.
no, I don't know. I don't know what you would generally call it, but I know that's where those particular things would go. I know that's where
So this is called CSS.
okay, that part is the CSS.
Yep. And what
Okay.
does CSS stand for?
Okay, to be honest with you right now, I am that is the farthest thing from my mind right now is CSS when I'm trying to look at all of that other. I guess because I'm visual and tactile at the same time, and when I see a lot of symbols and everything else and letters, my mind is not on explaining what CSS or HTML at the time when I'm looking at all of this formatted. So that's where my problem is.
It's all good. All right, let's keep working. What does CSS stand for? Do you know? You know what CSS stands for?
Okay, it's cascading style sheets.
Excellent. That's right.
Oh, tongue tied.
You're good.
Okay.
And what does CSS do?
It just
You can read it. That's fine.
okay. It describes HTML elements that can be displayed on screen, paper, and other media.
All right. It describes how
How to?
HTML elements are to be displayed. Okay. Do
Okay.
you know what they are referring to when they say HTML elements?
Is that? I guess I would say, is that the different things that we've done in previous assignment is a good example of what that represents?
Yeah.
Like it's layouts of the different things, like the different assignments we had, and we had to do different things.
Yeah, I'll give you a good example. And it's okay to say, I don't know. I want you to become very, very comfortable saying, I don't know. And I don't want you to feel like it's a good thing to be able to say, I don't know. So I give you complete permission to say, I don't know. And I promise you, I will never make you feel bad about that. Okay? Just so.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So HTML, and when it talks about these elements, what it's referring to is the different things like that's an element. It's the tags and elements. And so here in our Try It editor, they're referring to these things. And so can you see how when it says CSS describes how HTML elements are to be displayed on the screen, paper, or any other media, what they're doing is they're saying right here, this CSS right in here is going to describe how this is going to get displayed down in here. So this is the how. This is the what. The HTML words is the what's to be displayed, but then this is the how to display it. Does that help you a little bit?
Yes.
Okay, now let me ask you some questions. How many CSS instructions do you see here? Now that's a tough question because I'm jumping a little bit, but I'm trying to build your confidence here. How many different HTML elements are being told how to be displayed? Just if you don't know, that's fine. You can say
5.
that. You would say 5?
Mm-hmm.
That's a good guess. Okay, let me have you go to your Lifeline. The question is, how many different HTML elements are being told how to be displayed? Let's look at your Lifeline here. Anybody want to venture an answer there? Okay, Christopher says 3. Scotty says 3.
Can you go back so I can see?
Yep. How many different HTML elements are being told?
Okay. Well,
3.
3. I can see it now. I guess I was counting each one,
Yeah.
like the background, the color, the
I knew
text.
that, and that's why it was a good guess. It was a very good guess. So now, good, your Lifeline is very helpful tonight. Now let me ask you this: what 3 HTML elements are being told how to be displayed? Can you name them?
Okay, I'm looking at the background color,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm looking at it actually. It's actually not only the color but the text and alignment.
Yep. Okay. Let me stop. Let me pause. Now, let me tell you how CSS works. CSS works by having selectors that reference the HTML elements. So here's one selector that references this HTML element down here.
Okay.
Here is one selector. Do you see what it references?
Yeah.
It references this one here.
Right. Okay.
See this one? Okay, this one, do you see what it references? This
Down
one.
here where it says it's a paragraph.
That's right. Okay, so here's 1, 2, 3. Okay, those are the 3. That's the answer why your Lifeline said 3, because these are the three HTML elements that are being told. So the answer is body, H1, and P. Okay, so that's the answer. 1, 2, 3. Now let me ask you a different question. How many different, if you add them all up, how many different CSS design rules are there? Let's see if we jump on here. We say, I think different people call these different things style definitions. We'll go with that. That's the one that they're using, so that's the one we're going to use. So how many different, we have 3 HTML elements that are being impacted. 1, 2, 3. Now, how many total style definitions do you see? Now, remember your first answer? You counted 1. How many total style definitions do you see? 2.
3, 4, 5.
Right. So we've got 5 style definitions, and they're distributed among these 3 different things. Okay.
Mhm.
Now, the syntax of the CSS here is the first part is this first part here is the property, the style that's being selected, and this is the value. What this is saying is inside the body tag, which is inside all the way from here to here, set the background color to this value. And remember, we got this value from the HTML color picker.
Right.
So we could pick any color we want here, and it would give us, see that right there? It tells us what the number is. See that number changing? So that's where that comes from. So background color inside the body tag, set it to this. So that's this color here. Watch this. I'm going to take this here. Let's change the color to this color. We'll get this right here. See that number? And let's take that number. Let's go back to the editor and watch this. See what I did?
Mm-hmm.
Changed the value, went and grabbed a different color, came over here, changed value, and that set this. So the background color is set to that value. Now, what does this mean here? We've got the H1 tag, and it says change the color to orange. Do you have any idea what this means?
That would be the color of the text.
That's right. What text?
Whatever text that you're going to put in.
Yep. And where will I find the text that I'm trying to modify?
I don't know.
I love it when you can say I don't know and not feel bad about saying it. Good job. That's good. See, this H1 is pointing to this down here. And so what this is saying is anything that's in between the H1 tags, make its color orange.
Okay.
Now, if we want, we can actually say, let's make it blue. See a result? See that?
Okay.
Right down in here. Okay. Now, what do you think this style definition is saying? This is the property that we're going after. This is the aspect of the property of the text. It's alignment, the text alignment. And we are telling it to
Be centered.
right. So what is this saying? Generally speaking, what do you think this is saying?
Well, to me, it would be, as it's showing over there, my first example is centered in everything. But
Good.
also, my question is, in the back of my head, would also the paragraph be centered too?
What do you think?
Well, with you changing it to the right, then it would be on the right, but with it being, as it said, it would be in the center.
So you asked the question, if you will it affect the entire paragraph? And these rules are only in effect for
Just that part.
just this part between this H1
Uh-huh.
and this one here.
Right.
So this is the paragraph down below. And so it's kind of like out of the jurisdiction. In other words, this is kind of like federal law here. Federal law meaning it's going to impact everything, the entire body. This is like state law. You know what I mean when I say state law and federal law? You know, the laws of Congress versus the laws of your state. You know, I'm just kind of letting you know how the jurisdiction or the influence. See this influence right in here is going to only influence between the H1 tag and its influence is over right here.
Right.
This is over because this is only going to apply inside the H1 tag. So this is the only thing that's found inside the H1 tag. So this will only apply to what you find between open H1 and close H1. Now we get down in here to paragraph tag, that's down in here, and this is a whole new ball game. It's a whole new ball game because H1 had closed. We're
Right.
still inside the body tag, so this rule is still in effect because we're still inside the body. But these rules are no longer in effect because right down in here, we're outside the grasp of the H1 tag.
Right.
We're outside of it. So now we're into the paragraph tag. And so these rules apply, these rules apply to the paragraph tag. So we could change this to 40 pixels. And there it changes. We could change this to, let's see, what's a good one? Let's see. What's it called? Let's see. I need to take a refresher on my fonts. I'll go with Arial. Do that. So these rules, these rules are being applied right in here. Okay. Now let me back up. Generally speaking, we find what in between the style tag. This is called, generally speaking, what? Do you know?
No.
Okay, that's fine. Generally speaking, it is.
So that's the cascading style sheet.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. This is called CSS.
Okay.
Yep, that's called CSS. And how many different HTML elements are we impacting?
3.
Good. And how many total style definitions do we see going on here?
5.
Right. Good. All right. So I think you're doing okay. How do you feel?
I think I'm like a 4.
That's good.
I'm getting there.
That's better than a 3. No, you've come a long way in just a few minutes. So good job. All right. Now what I want to do is okay. So do you want to stay on? Are you doing okay?
Yeah.
Okay. So,
I'll go ahead on and mute so you can go on.
okay, is my microphone sounding okay?
Yes.
Okay. Christopher, I don't know what that was. I may have grabbed the microphone. So, okay. Now let's go back to this image that we had here a second ago. Cascading style sheets. Our image, right? There we go. There it is right here. We've just gone over this example here. So let's now jump up here to what is an external CSS. And this is going to be a little bit different. What I'm going to do is I'll take this content here and go into Dreamweaver. And do a new HTML document. Now, on this page right here, they let us, with this little screen here, they let us give a document title. This would be the HTML page title. We'll just say my title. Oops, my title. And this is the document type. And then here it says attach CSS. What they're saying is, okay, do you want to have an external style sheet? That's like this here. This is not an external style sheet. It's called an internal style sheet, or an in-head style sheet. We've taken the CSS, we've kind of mixed it in the same file as our HTML. We allow it to live here. This is kind of like having a foreigner live in your home. They're not a citizen, but they speak the language, and so, but they are definitely from a different country. CSS is from a different country because it's a different style and everything. I mean, it's a different language format than HTML, so this is kind of like it's living amongst the code of HTML. So what we can do, I'm going to take all this, I'm just going to copy it, and here it's saying attach to CSS. Well, I don't yet have an external style sheet. That's what I would do. I would click here, and then it would say, can you go browse to it? Well, I haven't created it yet, so this is kind of jumping the gun a little bit. So we're just going to say create, and here's the code here. Now it doesn't have any CSS in there, but it does have the title. It has a meta tag in here. What I can do is just delete all this and then just paste in what I grabbed from our online editor. See, all I did is I deleted what they gave us, and I pasted in what we have here. Okay, does this document here have an internal style sheet? Yes or no? Everybody answer. If you don't know, just put a question mark. If you're guessing, put your answer followed by a question mark. Does this document have an internal style sheet? Everybody answer.
Yes.
Awesome, awesome. You're correct. Good. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to make, but before I do this, I want to show you what HTML we're going to use. Yeah, when I say link, they're thinking anchor tags, and I just want to do this one here, HTML link tag. Let me give you this link. All right, so here we have, this is what we're going to use to reference our external style sheet. It's a link tag. So this is actually HTML that's going on, and these are the attributes of the link tag. REL, style sheet, that's the relationship. Type is the type of thing that it will be, and then the name itself. Now, in our assignment, we have got to do using a project, create an external CSS file. That's what I'm going to do right now, and link to it from your HTML website pages. And I'll show you that. We're going to do that right now. And there's the name. we're going to use stylesheet.css. Okay, so here, this is what we're going to do. Now, watch how I do this. I'm just going to grab this here and then paste it right up in here. Oops. And remember, we want to call this stylesheet.css. So see that stylesheet.css? So we'll call it stylesheet.css. Okay. And watch this right here. See this? I'm going to save. I'm going to do Command S to save this. I'll create a new folder. Hello. New folder. Website. We'll call this index.html. And what we'll do is during the second hour, what I'll do is I'll have each of you share yours, and we'll do your assignment together. So we can just take your own website. We'll do this for each of you. Okay, so I just saved the index.html, and see that right there, stylesheet.css. It wants to reference this style sheet link to it, but when you click on this, watch this, you click on this here, it says, hey, I don't have that. Well, yeah, it's because I haven't created it, really. I'm only linking to it, even though it's non-existent. Now watch how I make it. I take this internal style sheet. Notice I leave out the style tags and do Command X to cut it. Then I double click on this. And I was hoping to give me a blank screen. I think it used to do that. I'm going to do File, New, CSS. We'll do this with each of you. And this is just comments there, so I can actually delete all that out. Command V, and there's my CSS. Now wait a second. Now I've got to save it. File, save as. And this is called Style Sheet. I can do this a couple times just so you guys are familiar with how I'm doing this. Click Save. Exit out. Click on source code. Here, got the little asterisk right there, so do a Command S to save. And I'm just going to delete this style out because we don't need it in there anymore. We don't have any internal style sheet anymore, so we can get rid of the style tags. Now, save it again. Now we're referencing the external style sheet. It kind of wraps around, so it's kind of, let's just change it to code here. So now when I click on this, watch what happens. Click on this, bam, there's the CSS. It doesn't think it's on the local disk, but it is. Oh, that's just a leftover error message that I need to clear. Like that. It's not clearing. Oh, well. Okay, so right now, we'll go back to split. This is still being affected. Now, instead of making the changes here, this is going to stay the same. Now, if we want to make changes to our styling, we have to go into the CSS file. And we'll change it here. In fact, let me change this to, I'm going to take out this hexadecimal, just type in green. See that? Automatically just update it. And then the blue, we'll go with, I don't know, red. And then let's change the text. We'll add a style definition down here in the paragraph tag. And instead of red, we'll make that white. And we'll bring it down 10 pixels maybe. So what I'm doing is I'm making tweaks. I'm going to go back to 20. I'm making tweaks in the external style sheet. It's external because it's its own file. It's its own file because we now have it in. Let's see, classes DS 241. Work for website. It's its own file. This is called an external style sheet. What used to be internal to the web page is now linked. The content is now in a separate file. And the nice thing about this is now we can have a lot of each of our web pages. All we got to do is put at the top this instruction right there inside the head. And we'll have each of the web pages of our website point to this style sheet. And so the second that I make a change in my style sheet, it's going to be immediately reflected to all the other files. Why? Because each of those files are linked to this style sheet. Okay, scale of 1 to 5. 5 means I totally get what you just explained. 1 means I'm totally lost. Everybody answer. Scotty, you smarty. Okay, Will, are you there? Mary? Sarah, is it 5? Mary's a 4. Not bad, Mary. This is the assignment for this week, to do what I just did. That is, obviously we need to come up with some CSS and stuff, but let's do this. We're going to take a break now. It's 8 o'clock. Let's take a 10-minute break. You guys can, and then during the next hour, what we're going to do is we're going to have each of you share your screen, and we're going to do the assignment or this final assessment for each of you. Okay, so that you can go away with your assessment done. How's that sound? Good. Okay, great. Okay, let's take a little break. I'm not going to pause the recording just because it ends up being in 2 different pieces. So I'll keep the recording going. I'm going to mute just for a second. And you guys can unmute if you'd like and talk. I'll be right back. You can unmute if you'd like. That's fine. That's fine, Christopher. Okay, let's get back at it. Now, who would like to be the first person to do their assessment? We'll just have you share the screen and we'll sort this out together. In fact, let's do this. Christopher, why don't we have you share your screen and you can just show us how you did it. Is that okay? And then we'll work with others one by one.
You'll have to give me just a moment to get everything set up.
Say again?
I said you'll have to give me just a moment to get everything set up. I don't have my Dreamweaver open or anything like that.
Okay. Who wants to be next after Christopher? All right, hold on, Scotty. We'll start with Christopher, then we'll go to you. Right now, no one's sharing a screen.
I'm in the process of actually opening up my Dreamweaver.
You can go ahead and share your screen. I think Mary's sharing her screen. Is that right? What I was wanting is Christopher to share his. And then we'll come to you, Mary, here in a minute.
Okay, well, when I first started mine, when I actually first started designing my website itself, when I started my new file, I created my sheet then. Because I set it up to be able to do it as a fluid setup. And when I did it as fluid, I set everything up all at once.
Awesome.
And now that I've actually got it open, let's see here. I can find my file here. And I actually ended up with 3 separate files in here somehow that are all labeled for CSS. Oh, because I did it as a Bootstrap basic. So I ended up with a Bootstrap CSS file, which is external. Then the CSS file that I created, which I named primary.
That's okay, even though the assignment specifically says stylesheet.css, but that's not a big deal for me.
Okay. But when I actually started mine off, I started off as a Bootstrap, which is why I have the Bootstrap here. Let's see here. What did I do with my Okay. Always takes a second to load. But when I created all of these, when I created all of this, where is it at? I know it's right here at the top, and now I can't find it.
All right, let's do this. I want you to tell me what line number is where you, what line number are you linking to an external style sheet?
Well, let's see here. I've got one of them on line 11
Good,
and another on line 12.
great. Are those style sheets both in the same folder?
I do not believe so.
What makes you say that?
I believe that the boilerplate's from the Bootstrap, which is actually set up in that separate folder.
Yeah, you can see just by look at the folder. Look on line 11 right after href equals. See, it doesn't have it in a subfolder. There's no subfolder. But line 12 href equals, it says CSS space files. That's where the primary is located, in the CSS files folder.
Right.
Good. Can you scroll down a little bit?
Certainly.
Okay, right ahead. Learn. Let's see. Keep going. Keep going. Okay. All right. Line 27. We haven't gone over this in this class because it's outside the scope of the class. But do you know what's being defined beginning at line 27?
JavaScript, is it not?
That's correct. And JavaScript is its whole different language. It's different than HTML. It's different than CSS. It's actually a real bona fide programming language. And it's actually a subset of Java. And it's all built into the browser. So it doesn't do everything that Java language does, but it does a good portion of it. So line 27 is your open script tag. And between the open script and closed script, you will see functions defined. So keep scrolling down. Let's see where the closed script tag is. And again, we don't need to learn this. It's all being generated right there. See that line 49?
Yep, that was all auto-generated as I was creating my site.
Yeah, that's one of the nice things about Dreamweaver and the templates. It can manage this for you.
Let's see if I can actually get a little more space in here so we can get a better idea of what's going on. So it'll open this up a little bit. We can actually see. Because the whole time I was designing my webpage, this is how I did it. Instead of doing it side by side, I actually did it top and bottom. Now, this here is the only thing that I was a little confused on, I was struggling with, is my spacing. You see how many spaces I had to put in that way to get everything to look the way I wanted?
Yeah.
And I was trying to find, I looked and I looked and I looked, and I could not find an easier way to create space.
Yeah, one thing we could, or you could have done, is introduced a one-row table and make the dimension, the width of the table, the same width of your header or your header graphic there.
Right.
And then the height could be just about the size of your buttons. And you could divide it into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different cells. If you'd like, we can do that if you're interested. It's just for just for exercise. We could give that a try. But you're welcome to pass too.
Actually, at this point in time, I think I'll actually pass, because while I was creating it, this is actually the third rendition that I created of the website. The first one I started to create, I ended up making a mistake somewhere along the way, and nothing was working like it was supposed to, and I scrapped it. I deleted the whole thing, started over. And then I did the second one, and I was almost completely done with it, and I inadvertently deleted one of my files. And when I tried to replace it, nothing worked. So I scrapped it and started again.
Wow.
So this is the third rendition. And I sat down and probably dedicated a full, I want to say about 9 hours to getting it all done
Wow.
to make it look the way I wanted.
Amazing. All right, let me ask you this. If you wanted to jump to the style sheet very quickly, do you know how you would do that? Upper, look at the link
Yeah.
right there. Good.
Well, there's the one for the boilerplate, which is from the Bootstrap, and then there's the one that I created, the primary.
Go ahead and click on that. Wow. There's a lot to it.
There is quite a bit there.
Now, where did you get all your CSS from?
While I was in the process of actually trying to set everything up and trying to make it look the way that I wanted, I went over here to the CSS designer on this side. Well, there it goes. And then all I did was, as I was trying to add the different elements, I went to either all sources or to my primary CSS, depending on which file I wanted to add it to. Scrolled down to find, usually I used global on most of them. And then I just went down here and searched for the item or the div tag, the image, whatever it happened to be that I wanted to be able to alter that I had already created. Like here, you'll see like the footer, the resume body, the blog article. All I did was selected the item and then started doing the actual changes on the page below. And if you actually pull it over this way, it actually comes out to where you can actually see it. And that's where I made a lot of my changes, was in here.
That's cool.
That way, and this allowed me to be able to do the layout, the text, the border, and each one, all I did was chose which item I wanted to change. My blog article here, if I wanted to put a background in it, then I just made my changes here. My background color, as you can see, is set right here, kind of a gray. And then all I did was scroll down and made any adjustments where I wanted them and looked at how it looked when I did it, and then changed it if I didn't like it, and did it step by step that way.
That's great. Now, everybody, what he's explained to you is using Dreamweaver to generate the CSS rather than just doing it kind of the hard way, which is to type in the instructions one by one.
Right.
Because that generated over 1,000 lines.
It did. It generated like 1,300, I believe. Yep. Or 1,300.
Yeah. And the nice thing about editing it over here is you can tweak width and height. You have all the properties right there. And
well, you see, and the other thing that I found that was really great was like for the background, all I have to do is click up here and it goes directly to the background, and then I can make any alterations that I need. Yeah,
that's cool. Over on the left, I want you to type in filter CSS rules, type in black background. Back to the right, back to where the CSS designer is. Go up and type up to the left, down, 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 right there. In there, type in background. Huh. Thought you would have some things on your background. Huh. No,
I didn't do it quite that way. If I remember correctly, the background here, I actually did as a completely separate, I'll think of it in a second. I did it as an actual image, if I'm not mistaken. And so it should be under the name of the image tag that I gave it. I don't remember what I named it now, because I did this before Christmas.
Wouldn't for that image though you use it as a background image though?
Yeah, I believe that's what I did. I'm trying to remember where. That one may actually be under the boilerplate. I think I may have done that one in there. I'm not going to swear to it though.
Now, line 53 does show a an image, but that's not a background. Body unload. Let's see, where is your...
Okay, this is all for my buttons. Here. There's the header. Where did I put the background? Oh, it's going to be further down. That's for the buttons. Those are all for the buttons. What did I do? I don't remember where I stuck it now.
Can you go back to the code there, scroll up, and all the way to the top, and then do a Command F, and type in background and see if we can search for it. Okay, now let's search for IMG.
Okay. I know I had quite a few of them, but I don't know. There should only be like one of them in here. Or a couple in here. Let's see here. Oh, yeah, I did all my buttons images too.
What?
All of my buttons.
Let's see. We're looking at HTML. We're not looking at CSS. So
Right.
Can you click on the background image and see if it'll pull up that specific section?
Actually, that might not be a bad idea.
There you go.
There we go. Got to be in here.
yeah, it's doing the entire body. I
Yeah.
wonder if your background is being defined in your CSS. Your background image. But we already did a search for the attributes, the CSS attributes. Why don't you do this? Can you go to the primary.css file
Okay.
and then just do? Oh, there's background. Go.
That's for the basic background color for most of my other stuff. I'm looking for.
Can you do background dash image? Search for that.
Okay.
Command F. Dash.
Wrong one. How on earth? For the life of me, I do not remember what I named it.
Is it just those 4 lines?
132, 133, 179. For the life of me, I do not recall what I named it now. Oh, this is aggravating. Yeah, we're already at we're in the 200s already.
All right, I want to change gears. Can you go out into the browser and open up this, or just view this in a browser?
Oh, okay.
Is that coming up?
There it goes. I know that I did the background image, and for the life of me, I do not recall. Please move this window. Why is it telling me to move the window away from the shared application?
It sounds like you're just sharing. Maybe when you did a share, you can stop sharing for a second and then reshare, and this time choose the entire desktop
Okay.
because you just chose to share. I think chose to just Dreamweaver.
There it goes. Okay. Got it. Okay, that should actually be.
Okay, do a right click over there in the image on the background. Right click, and then do inspect down the very bottom.
There it is. That's the image.
Okay, so body. It's a body selector. So it's in your boilerplate.
Yeah, it's in the boilerplate. There it is. Okay. Which means I should be able to actually find it in here. I don't understand why I wouldn't.
Yeah, we're looking in the primary.css. We had not opened the boilerplate.css. I guess that's probably.
There it is. It's right there.
Yeah,
line
boilerplate.
Line 51 in the boilerplate.
All right. Well, case closed. All right. Well, I'm going to see if we can help. Very good, by the way. You did great. You're really doing good work, getting stuff done.
Thank you.
So, thank you very, very much. Okay.
I'll stop sharing now.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Christopher. Okay, Scotty, can you share?
Yep.
All right.
And none of my stuff is working now, so
All right.
it was working fine, and then I moved some things around, and now nothing works.
Okay.
This is why I don't like coding.
Mm. Yeah, it's very particular. All right, why don't you, let's go on the upper right where it says files. Let's see up there to the right, upper right.
Created this,
Okay,
but I don't know how to link it to this, so
okay. So let's get your graphics figured out really quickly here if we can.
guys, go to
Far right. Far right, where on the right side of Dreamweaver, way right. Okay, right there. Click files. Let's see here. All right. Got the images. Did you move your buttons
yes,
folder inside it?
for
Open up images.
images
There's your buttons folder.
in the buttons folder.
Now go back to the buttons folder. Let's see what you have in there. There's the PNG files. Okay. Images, buttons. Oh, the buttons are working here.
Yeah,
The logo.
the logo should be in my image file. Yeah, there's the logo.
Okay, why don't you, over on there on the left where that broken image is, click on that, upper left where that broken image, click on it.
Okay.
Now, over on the right, grab the logo.jpg, just drag it far right on that list. Just drag it and drop it on your page. Let's see if that does anything. Just drop it.
Nope. It just did this here thingy, but it just.
Okay. You can do a Command Z to undo that. Now, up across the top, type in insert, the menu insert. Menu item, click insert up above on the top menu, far left. Okay, so insert, and let's do image. Hmm. Hmm.
which is this right here.
I think it might have to do with a setting, a certain setting that we might be running into. Hold on one sec. Excuse me, I tried to mute. I couldn't mute fast enough. Okay, so I think it might have something to do with how we've got this working to go look for images, but what's ironic is your buttons are working fine. Let's see.
I just replaced those buttons because they weren't showing up, and what I did is I went in and replaced them. So now they're showing up. Whether they work or not is a different story.
But they aren't anchored. They aren't set to anchor tag yet. They just are showing up there. Let's see. Well, one of them, let's see, the one on line 15, that does, line 15 and line 16 do have anchor tags. They don't, you have an open anchor. Let's see. Oh, close anchor. So, yeah, what you're doing on line 15 there is you're telling, you have the anchor tag, the A space href, the A that says go here, and you have it going to the graphic rather than to the what would it be, the home page. So instead of putting the reference to the graphic there, you actually would put like home.html instead of all that.
Okay, so I would erase this part.
All of it, yeah. Keep going. No. Yeah, well.
And then erase this.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. You got it. Good.
And then this part would go to the button there.
Right.
And the same thing with all of these down here.
Yeah, go ahead and work on those while I look at the rest of your code.
Okay. Nope, get that there. So,
No, that one's good. It's over there, href equals, and then do quote. Okay, put a double quote to finish that. Quote, and then do a right bracket, a right greater than sign to close that. Okay, now cut that close anchor tag. You can select it. Just
This?
that right there. Great. Now you can grab it and move it down. You can do a cut. Yep. And then go down a line, and right before that LA, yeah, you can either do it there right before that LI, close LI, or you can go up a line and do it at the end of the image tag. You can either paste it there or go to the very end. It'll be identical. Go back one to the right, one to the right. Oh, that's weird. Anyways, paste it right there. Okay, that one should work. By the way, if you want, you can move the screen. Yeah, you thought the same thing. Good. Okay. By the way, up on line 15, I want you to remove the width equals 146, the first occurrence of the width equals, because that's, yeah, and yeah. Well, wait, be careful now. You want the slash part because that's the, in fact, you won't even need that slash part. Yeah, delete that and delete this. Delete that. Now delete the slash. There we go. Okay. There we go. That's looking good. Let's see images. Okay, good. All right, that looks good. Now, line 17, go ahead and go back to the left a little bit there. Right in there, you can do the anchor tag. Good.
You have to change that href.
HREF, not ERF. There's a little typo there.
Oh,
All right, so that's good. I think that's good for now. Okay, line 10, you have 2 image tags. You really only need 1. Oh, yeah, it's because we added those. I mean, we added that second one, and it didn't show up. Let's see. Why isn't that image showing up? Click above in the code view. Why isn't that showing up? What's weird is when you mouse over it there, it looks good. But up there,
it's not showing up here.
yeah. Why don't you save this and let's go out to let's view this in a browser. Do you know how to do that? There you go.
See, it shows, but my background image doesn't show up.
All right, we'll fix that. All right, well, it's kind of weird. It doesn't show up here in Dreamweaver, but it shows up fine when we view the website. All right, let's go back to your code. By the way, you'll be able to copy and paste all that we were working on, you know? You can copy and paste lines, 14 through 21. Copy that and then just put that in each of those other files.
Okay.
And that way your nav bar will be the same from one file to the next.
14 through 21.
Yep, grab all that.
What about 18 and 19? Why are those red?
Let's see here. Let's see.
Says I'm missing the closing.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. There it is. Okay.
The alt right here.
Yes, that's right.
I need this little thing here.
That's right. Good. Close. Oops.
Okay, close.
That was a style.
Ah,
It put in something else. That's why you probably forgot to close your style tag above, and it's still trying to get that closed. Okay, you want to do the same. Good. That's right. Good. You don't want to cut it. You want to copy that one because you need it. You need it in both places. So just go down. It's still in your paste buffer. You can do it again.
there you go.
There you go. Okay, save that. Okay, now let's go scroll up to your style sheet, your internal style sheet. And where is that? There it is, right there. If you want, you can kind of reformat that a little bit. I think that, yeah, why don't you do this right after the style. Yeah, the problem is I don't think it's recognizing it. Right after the word style on 6, line 6.
Uh-huh.
Right, hit enter right there. Enter. And then after body, do a space. And then space, and then at the background dash image, at the B, hit an enter. Let's bring that down to the next line.
That one right there?
No, the other background dash image, the property itself. Right there, right. Hit enter. Okay, and oh yeah, you want to put I think you just want a semicolon there after that, right there, and oh yeah, and that's the other thing we're missing. Okay, good. Okay, go back to that bracket, that line 8, very far in, and then once you hit an enter, bring that bracket down and to the next line, and then go back until it ends up under the B. Right there. Okay, so that's proper. Now let's double check on the semicolon. Yeah, every instruction. See, it's forgiving you. Yeah, you should put a semicolon right there. Oh, no, that's a colon. That's right. You want to put a colon there. No, you need a colon there, but the semicolon should be at the end of the entire line. Right there. Semicolon right there. Good. Now save that, and let's see if the image, your background image, works.
Nope.
Okay, let's do let's see. URL, left parenthesis, double quote. Why don't you put quotes after the left parenthesis, put a double quote, and then put double quotes around the images / background. Let me see if it's going to get that particular with us. URL. Save that. Did you save it?
Okay.
Yeah, let's go back to the browser and refresh and see if it worked. Okay, wait a second. Do a right click and do view source. Here. Okay. Let's see, why don't you, the DOM Explorer, DOM means Document Object Model, upper left, right there where it says debugger, go to the left. Troubleshoot why the image doesn't work, or maybe, Let's just make sure that your background is in that folder. Let's make sure the background.jpg is in that folder. You can go back to Dreamweaver, or you can browse to it, or you can go look in Dreamweaver. Yeah, I think I saw it. Background.jpg. Style.
It'd be this one right here.
Yeah. Okay, let me see. What else might we be missing? Background dash image colon. Background dash image colon. URL. Just for the heck of it, take away the space after URL. I don't think it's this particular, but I'm just URL. Remove that space right there. I think that worked. Wow, that's picky. Whoa. Okay, save that. You just do a Control S. Okay, good. Now let's go to your browser.
Problem is, I did the size that you said earlier when I was in the
Sure.
student thing, but this is how it appears now. It's like the size doesn't, I don't know, it like only shows part of the background that I had that I did.
All right, let's see here.
But there's more to this background than just what you see here. And then there was this right here. I was wanting to put this logo to where the bottom of it ends like right here and the top of it is at the top. And then it's all the way over to the edge here.
Okay.
And that, but it's not doing that for some reason, and I don't know why.
Okay. All right, let's do this. I want to see if I can help anybody else, and then we'll come back to you.
Okay.
And while you're at it, can you go check, see what are the dimensions on that graphic? Yeah, if you could.
I'll pull it up and check the dimensions and stuff on it. I'll go ahead and stop sharing, then that way you can help the next person, and I'll check on that.
Okay. Who'd like to go next? Will ask the question, is week 4 building off week 3? Definitely, yes, it is. Anybody else want to take a stab at it?
No one else needs help.
All right, who's that?
That was Ryan.
Okay, Ryan, awesome.
I got help Monday though, so if anyone else needs help, go for it.
Okay, go ahead and share.
All right. Oh. Is it sharing?
Let's see, yep.
Okay. I guess my main question is, we talked about this Monday. I have all this internal CSS.
Mm-hmm.
Do I need to have like the external, global one for week 4?
Yeah, that is the assessment. Let me read it, double check here. External style CSS. Yeah, so let's do that.
Okay. That would be my question, is how do I transfer all this?
By the way, up on line 5, you have center. Is that working? That's right inside the head.
Oh, that's because this logo up here is I'm using it as a header. So yeah, it is working. It keeps it centered.
That's weird because normally image tag would not be found up inside the head section. Just do me a favor just for a second. Grab everything on line 5. Yeah, that whole thing. Cut it. And come down into the body. Oh, wow, your body tag. It's interesting. Line 13. Oh, wow. You've got a
This
body.
is all style.
Yeah, but you have a body tag on line 13.
I know, and when I move this under style, which it should be a part of,
No,
I lose everything.
no, the body tag, that body tag, that's a body tag, and that's not a CSS style. So,
No.
I mean, you've kind of
So
got
if I
to
just bring it into my first body, it should be good.
go a little slower. All right, let's back up. There's like 3 things I need to have you back up.
Okay.
All right, why don't you do a Command Z? Let's get back to where you were. Okay. All right. Okay, keep going back if you would. Are you all the way back?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, let's scroll to the very top. Okay, line 1 is okay. Line 2, HTML. Line 3 is the head. Line 4, meta. Now, line 5, just don't start moving things. I just want to comment, okay?
Okay.
Line 5, all that instruction should not be there. It should be inside the body tag, but let's just leave it there for right now. Keep on coming down. Line 7, that's a title. Line 8, you close the head. But line 10, you start all over with the line 1 document type. And so
Okay.
that should not be there. And
So
then,
delete this one?
yeah, and the HTML underneath it, we've already done that. We've already begun it up on line 1 and line 2.
Okay.
So, the body and so the style. See, first of all, that line 10, the body tag, you've got both an open body and a closed body. And the body doesn't close until the end, but that body shouldn't start until after the style. So why don't you cut it? Don't delete. Do a cut, and then let's scroll down to where your body tag begins. Okay, line. Okay, so look at that. We've got a closed HTML. 52 is a closed HTML. So do a delete of line 52, not a cut, a delete. Okay, do a select of line 52 and do a Command V to replace. Command V, replace. Now delete that closed body tag. Good. Delete that. Now at the very bottom.
Sorry.
Okay, line 61. Delete that closed body tag. And line 63, delete that open body tag, so that shouldn't be there. All right, now we are getting closer. We got our closed body tag at 62, which is good. Close 63 is close HTML. Background color is set. Okay, you got the close. Okay, good. UL div align equals right, close div. Okay, that's all looking good. Now let's scroll back up to and grab that way up to the very top. Now grab line 5. Do a cut. And now, whoa, that took a lot out.
Yeah, that's why it's up there.
Okay, wait a second. Okay, scroll all the way down to your body tag. Okay, introduce a new line on line 53. And now go up to line 53 and do a paste. Now click over on the left.
Wow.
That's where it should be.
So how did that keep that up on the header, though?
It's very forgiving. It kind of knew what you wanted to do, but
Okay.
it was extremely forgiving. It was allowing you to do it. Okay, scroll all the way to the top because all that stuff needs to be inside the body tag. Okay, line 8, delete that because you don't want to close your head yet. scroll down. Let's make sure we got our head closed. Scroll all the way down, down, down. Let's see. Okay, introduce a new line on line 52. New line 52. And then close your head tag on the new line. 52, just close your /head. Oh, it doesn't, okay, got that closed. Okay. Now, let's see. Okay. Introduce a new line on line 51 and put a closed brace. There you go.
Oh, I was wondering why my colors weren't right.
That's happy. Okay. Scroll up. Let's see how far you can go all the way up, up, up. Okay. Now, at the end of line 22, let's see, we've got, let's see, font, text, I think that's all going to look right. I remember line 18, you and I were messing with that.
Yeah.
Let's do me a favor just for a second. Select line 18 and do a cut.
Oh, no.
And now click over there. Isn't that weird?
Yeah, it makes no sense. I tried like 6 other things since Monday.
All right, do a Command Z. And do. That's so strange. I do not get that. Let's try this, just for the heck of it.
Hey, here's a question. Were you trying to figure out why the black went all the way across?
No, well, I'd like the black to go all the way across, but I wanted the content centered.
Okay. Mine, I ended up centering my navigation just using a center tag.
Yeah, we had tried that.
But I did not put mine in my CSS though. I just put it in the HTML.
Okay.
That's
So I have all of my buttons centered in a navigation div tab.
okay. Sounds interesting. We'll look at yours here in a sec. Okay, let's just for a second delete out line 18. Delete out the comment code. Not the leave the yeah. Just delete that and delete the other one. Isn't that weird? Put a space before the F in fixed. Position. Fix. Wow. All right. Do a Command Z to bring it back to the way it was. And I cannot explain that one, man. Holy cow.
I'm happy with it like this till I get more time.
I don't blame you. All right. Now, here's what I want you to do. And that is, I want you to do a file new up in the very top menu button, file new, and do a CSS, select CSS. Okay, click create, and go back to your file that we were working on. Select everything between the style tags, not including the style tags.
Oh, no style tag?
Yeah, right. We just want the stuff inside. Okay. Do a Command X.
Mm.
And then select all that. We can get rid of all that. Or yeah, you can do a line 3 if you want. Do a paste. We'll leave that. That's fine. Okay, Command S to save, and then we'll call it stylesheet.css. And save it in the same folder where your got your work. Okay, good. Okay, let's go back to that.
The home page?
Yeah. And delete out the style tags because we don't need them anymore. All right, now
I think I figured out why his buttons are floating to the left.
Whoa, okay, 1 second. Okay, what I want you to do is on line 8, okay, then go over to far right tab, insert. Do the insert right there. Do a link, or not hyperlink. Let's see. Where's the link? Link. Keep going. Let's see.
I don't see it either.
Man, can you scroll down to the very bottom? Did we already?
Yeah.
Oh, we didn't? Okay, let's see. Okay, scroll up. Let's see here. Wow. All right. Do a bracket link. LINK. Let's see. Open. Oh, in the code. Yeah, LINK. Base. And do REL equals, and then in quotes, quote, style sheet, and then close quote, space, type, TYPE, equals,
I'm sorry, type?
yep, equals, and then quote, text, TXT, /
CSS.
yeah, cool. And then, okay, good, space, and then href equals, and do a quote, and then you can type in stylesheet.css. And now close that.
With just that?
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay, you're done. Well, no, you're not done. You have to propagate this to the other files, but you've got it set up now.
Okay, cool.
Okay, you can just make sure you save it. Wait a minute, line 10, the very end. Let's see, what is that? Put that quote, wait a minute now. Style equals. No, I think that's right. Hold on, style equals.
I think I actually just copied that line from
Yeah, that looks right.
W3C.
Yeah, it is right. Okay. Sorry, I thought it was messing up the colors, but that's right. Those are called inline styles. That's that third level of the cascading style. So right now, line 9, you've got an external style sheet. That's what we just created. We don't have the internal style sheet anymore, so we don't have that state level rules or law, if you remember my analogy. Line 10, you have an inline style. So whenever you have a style attribute, see that line 10, body space style, see that style equals?
Yeah.
That is called an inline style. So that's the lowest level. That's kind of like city law, the lowest level law you can have. They have one level, another it's easier to find, but this is good enough. Okay? All right.
Oh, what's this here? I can get rid of this, right? I don't know what that was from.
Let's see what you're looking at. Get rid of what?
Just this.
See, what that is you've got a style for your image, height and width. You can probably delete that.
Okay. All right. There we go. The two lines were confusing me. I was like, where's the close? All right.
Yeah. You could possibly delete that unless it's scaling it.
No, yeah, that's keeping it scaled. Otherwise, it's all like Dreamweaver makes it all distorted.
Okay. All right. So are you good?
Yeah, I'm good. That was really what I needed, was how to transfer this to a style sheet. So
Good
I
job.
can figure it out for the rest of the files.
Okay, great.
Oh,
Hey,
actually, you remember how I was having trouble with this? Does anyone have a suggestion as to how I could keep this just like 4x4 for now instead of this?
I put
Um,
mine in a table.
Okay, I was just messing with that and I was having a lot of difficulties.
Do you have a
Um,
div tag?
Yeah, I have div tags.
Is there a width on your div?
It should be. I think it's under each image. Div image with 100% height auto.
I hate these iframes.
Class equals IMG. Class equals DESC. So if you put a div tag around the entire thing, like introduce a new line after 82, and because you've got div tags around each image, it seems. Yeah. So if you introduce another div tag, you can create div tags of div tags. So introduce a new line on line 83, an open div there. And then on that, you would specify a width. And then you would close it below the group. So you'd create a container, if you will, and you specify a width. So div space width equals whatever width you want.
So that I would just have to mess around with pixel width to figure out what will allow me 400 or 4. So it would be
Yes,
1200.
exactly. That's right.
And then I would just close it.
Below them all. Yeah, let's see. Yeah, let's see. No, I think you would just close it below. Below it, and because you're basically creating a container that's wide enough to hold 4 images.
Yeah.
That's it.
So, all right. Down here, it keeps telling me I'm missing these tags. Missing a closed body tag.
Yeah, remember we cleaned up a lot of stuff. There's a chance that you've got so many body tags above that it's kind of like losing count or something. I see an open body tag on line 82.
Yeah, but that's the thing though, it's closed down here. That's what hold the body is all these images.
Well, yeah. So it's actually all your content, frankly.
So why is it telling me that I'm missing it when it's right here?
Missing closed body. Let's scroll to the top and let's just see if it's getting confused by other body tags being present.
Oh, I think it's right here.
You're throwing it off. I want you to pull out all that, clean these all up, kind of like we did, with your home tag or your home. Yeah. I want you to do that with all these, and I don't want you to have any internal stuff. I mean, just want you to share the same one across all of them, okay?
Okay.
All right, good luck.
All right, thank you.
Hey, real quick, Ryan, before you unshare yours, I think I figured out your problem with your navigation. Go under your style sheet. If you look under your first unordered list where it says line 20, it says float left. I wonder if you center that, if that would fix it.
No, we tried that.
Oh, you tried that too?
Yeah, we tried all the different align codes as well.
That was the only thing I saw that I thought maybe.
No, that's what it does.
Centers that way. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Because that's your listing up and down.
Yeah. All right. Thank you, guys.
You're welcome.
All right, now we've passed the time, so you guys can you can leave if you need to go. If you want to stay, feel free to stay.
Are you willing to work with me real quick on putting the rollover on images in a style sheet?
Yeah, you can do that. Okay, go ahead, Sarah. You can start sharing.